Hello everyone and welcome to my new YouTube channel. My name is Crasus. I am making a channel devoted to all things Star Wars The Old Republic. And I know this definitely seems like a niche area, considering the game does have quite a few ups and downs. You have subscribers coming and going, free-to-players coming and going. However, when I was surfing the web, I have looked through many YouTube channels, and I haven't actually seen a channel that was devoted just toward commentary of the game itself, talking about various issues, PvE, lore, possibly even some RP, things like that. And so, with that knowledge, I decided that I would go ahead and take a stab at it and form my own YouTube channel specifically for the game. Now, Twitch is very, very popular. Normally, Twitch shows like live streaming of guilds downing particular bosses. There is an editing tool. It is kind of taking over a little bit of the function of this. However, this is kind of more easily searchable, and I hope that I have a lot of fun with it, and I hope my listeners, I hope I get a bunch of listeners to that, to enjoy it, and that I'm not just talking to myself out here. In any case, let's get down to it. I'd like to actually first begin talking about the state of the union of Star Wars right now. As I'm talking, you can probably see the video in the background. The first three cinematics in order. This was actually what got everyone excited for the game. When this came out, it was something new, it was something special. You got to see this, and it was just amazing. If you take a look at all the work that they actually put into the cinematic, you would only hope that they would actually put that much work into the game at launch itself. It wasn't quite as good. There were a few issues at launch, mainly just like any new game that will come out. It seems there are going to be a ton of people who are going to get on. There are going to be wait times. The game will come out with a bunch of servers, and then what will happen is after the month or two, a bunch of people will leave, and then you will be playing on a server by yourself. This game also had that problem. There were certain servers where you were just kind of trolling around on fleet by yourself, the king of the universe, pretty much. But in any case, that was some of the flaws that happened. I do, like I said, want to talk about the state of the game currently. Currently, we are in a lame duck period in the game. Now, it seems interesting why I'm going to actually make this channel, or attempt to make this channel, why nothing is actually going on in the game. And, well, to be honest, the reason why I decided to do it now is there's not shit else to do. How about that? But no. The thing of it is this game does have a bit of a bad rap. A lot of people like to make fun of it. It doesn't have a polished in-game when you compare it to like WoW, which it will be always compared to, because it started out to be the WoW killer, and then it was just a WoW clone in space. However, it is a very interesting game. It is a game that I continue to play. I log on to play every day, and I am not a Star Wars fanboy. If you actually go into my closet, you will not find a single Star Wars shirt. I do like Star Wars. However, I don't eat and breathe Star Wars. As far as just being a fanboy, like a lot of the Comic-Con people kind of do. I do really enjoy the game. I think that the game has tremendous upside, even with its flaws. The developers can definitely do a better job, and they definitely need to do a better job. As lifelong subscribers, as far as the game is concerned, we deserve better. Okay, when 1.2 came, many people left. There are a lot of people who are still around, and they deserve more production from the developers. Now, currently, we have been running with 2 operations since October, and it's getting stale. It's getting very stale. However, one thing that can be said is the game does still continue to release content. The problem that they're having is the content that they're releasing is boring. So there is a large contingent of people who still play Galactic Starfighter, and that was released, something that many say should have been released at the very beginning, because it's something that Star Wars Galaxy, the predecessor to Star Wars The Old Republic, had. They had, in-game flight combat. So Star Wars The Old Republic finally got around to doing that. The problem is there are very few maps. The combat is kind of stale and boring, and it just lost a lot of interest very, very quick. I personally basically did Galactic Starfighter in the test server. I did Galactic Starfighter when it first came out. I had a lot of fun for about 2 weeks, and then I just got tired of it. Maybe it's just I personally don't PvP either, don't really enjoy it. Maybe that has something to do with it. However, by and large, your ground-based PvPers do not enjoy it. There was just a small section of people who continue to play it and continue to enjoy it. And that's great for them. The problem is when the developers are coming out with this new content, they're coming out with the Galactic Starfighter. It does take a tremendous amount of resources. And what happens is those resources actually draw from other parts of the game. So we get Galactic Starfighter, and we don't get operations, and so that makes a lot of the PvEers very upset, and rightfully so. However, for the PvEers, the game has started to release these wonderful flashpoints that are just basically field trips. I mean, they really truly are. The game has gone away from the holy trinity of flashpoints to the fact where you need a tank, a healer, and 2 DPS, to the point where basically anybody can get in and go. And this is a good thing. This is a very good thing. This should be a viable option, to be perfectly honest. Okay? Especially with the KDY flashpoint. As you're leveling up, you can quickly get into a group. You can run through it. You can do it. It gives you a really good experience, and you can move on. The level 55 portions actually are there to tell a story. Okay? With the 2 Zerka operations, Meltdown and Labs, they tell a story of basically the Empire and Republic trying to use the Zerka Corporation as resources in order to fight their enemies. And so it does tell a story, and it's really cool about that. The 2 flashpoints that I just mentioned that are, quote, tactical flashpoints, they are interested in the fact that they have a hard mode component to them, and so I guess that's kind of cool. The issue is they don't have a lot of longevity because, well, they don't drop gear. So the things that they drop, besides now decoration, but the things that they drop are generally just black market gear, and that's just basic entry purple gear that you got back in October. Actually, before then, you got that gear when the Rise of the Hutt Cartel came out, and there's no reason to go in there and do it. So, yeah, it's whatever. The next portion that they had, they did the Korriban Incursion. And the Tython flashpoints. Basically, that is an interesting flashpoint that tells a story that we're actually at war with the other faction, and so that's kind of cool. However, once again, it is a tactical flashpoint, and so ultimately it's just a field trip to tell a story, and that is a problem. And so it's not difficult. Everyone just blasts through it. You don't need a tank. You don't need a healer. Any 4 components will do, and you can go through there. Then they came out with a Manon flashpoint, which is really cool because you can actually get some good legacy gear from it, and so at least that is interesting. However, once again, it's a field trip. They came out with Ricotta Prime. That's the newest one they have. It actually tells a story. I'll go ahead and do a spoiler. It has Revan at the end, and it makes a lot of people go crazy because this game, because of Knights of the Old Republic, this game does go crazy for Revan. However, as far as lore-wise and what happens, the developers always drop the ball when it comes to revenue. Comes off looking like a little bit of a pussy. So, but that's okay. They're trying to put it in. That's the content that they're dropping. In addition to that, they are dropping housing. Housing is interesting, but it's cookie cutter, and so it's not like the housing of SWTOR or any kind of sandbox game where you get to build your house. Basically, you have a template and you put shit on it. You put shit on the walls. You have these little items. You can put bars and just shit. And I got caught up in it. It's really cool stuff. However, ultimately, with the state of the game, we're at a point now where we need new content. Basically, what happens is they have Group Finder to get in raids, so you can do the two Dread Fortress, Dread Palace. You can do story modes and do that with anyone. You're doing Dread Fortress, Dread Palace. You do the hard modes. Some guilds can't do that. Some guilds can. Still, Dread Fortress, Dread Palace, and then Nightmare. Nightmare is the toughest challenge, but we've already been through it. It's kind of like WoW if they're looking for raid, and then flex, and then regular, and then hard mode. You're still going through it 4 times. And so if that is the case, they need to find a way to get new ops out. Get new ops into play, and that's basically it. The only thing that is really keeping the player base happy at this juncture is the nostalgia. Like, we're watching the video now, we're getting to the point where the Sith, they come in and they just destroy the Jedi. And like, when you watch that as a person who doesn't want to be a Jedi, you're like, yes, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be an equal playing field. They're already kind of, putting something in there for the Sith and the bad guys, and woo! And so you get excited. We need that excitement still. We need these things to come back to the game, is what we need. Now, we have to come out with some new content. There is going to be an announcement, and most likely by December they're going to increase the level cap by 5. With that, there has to be a minimum of 2 operations, and they need to have new flashpoints as well. And that's a huge undertaking. But that's what has to happen in order to keep subscribers in the game as far as a PvE aspect goes. PvP, I don't even want to get into it. I don't really PvP that much. I will try to learn things about PvP so I can talk about them, and possibly even invite guests to come and actually do things PvP related, so I can actually touch base on everything, and RP related. However, with what's going on right now, I'm going to be focusing right now on the PvE aspect of it to really just save the game that I really love. I've played other games, and this all-encompassing has the economy, the customization of characters, the leveling experience. It's by far the best leveling game there is. It just has to polish up the end game and stop diverting its resources to other places that aren't going to work. So, I hope you enjoy the channel. There is going to be more content, just as we need in Star Wars now. And I'm going to talk about new things, and I'm going to have subjects, and hopefully it'll keep going and everyone will like it. Please like if you like what you hear, and if you have any suggestions, please put them at the bottom. Thank you so much.
And now your republic shall fall.